Hey guys, LV here. As you can see from the title, we are going to review another album today. We are reviewing Hamasaki Ayumi's Duty album. Like all my other videos, this album was a request, and this album was requested. It was requested by quite a few YouTube users. It was requested by the YouTube user Jetter Swisser Fan 88. It was also requested by another YouTube user, Innocent Psy, which I thought that was a cute name. I really like that one. And then it was requested by another YouTube user, Spicy Pink 300, I think. Sorry. And as always, I'm always happy to do any album of IU because IU is my empress. I treasure this album to be one of Hamasaki Ayumi's best albums because it was during this time where this album here, it represented another drastic change within her style, because at this time she seemed to abandon the dance pop she used in Love Appears, and she moved more into a rockish category, which was of Duty. This was a very good representation of IU, because in my opinion, IU, she can do rock. She has the voice, energy, and soul for it. At least I think so. The lyrical basis of this album seemed to take a turn for the worse, because most of the lyrics within this, they seem to focus on the concepts of hopelessness, confusion, and a sense of disappointment. Hamasaki, she felt that she didn't represent herself thoroughly within this, and it was really more of a dark turn within this album. Despite the depressing factors that surround this album, I still consider this album to be one of her best albums because she delivers her message within this album with ease. And for this album, I will say it's very easy to empathize with IU, especially what goes on with most of these lyrics within this album. So I'm very excited to do this review. And now let's get started. The first track is Starting Over. I adore this introduction because this introduction here, it truly gives off a new beginning. The theme of a new beginning. Because it starts, I'm not sure if you guys can hear because I have it on really low. It starts with this man speaking in distorted English. And I thought that was a nice touch because it does truly emphasize the message of the New World feel. And then you can hear IU in the background. She's like ad-libbing within the background, which again brought a nice touch to this intro because it really does incorporate this futuristic feel during the time this album was released. The next song is Duty. From the moment I heard this track, I fell in love with it immediately, you guys. I adore this dramatic opening here with these strings and this intensity we hear, along with these Gregorian chants, I think that's what they're called. And then this Spanish guitar just comes in right here, and that was a really nice touch. I don't know, to me, this really incorporated this somewhat theatrical ambience that keeps being heard throughout the track. IU sings in utter harmony within the verses, and it definitely has a nice effect overall, especially based off what this song represents. The lyrics to this song are so moving because within this song, she's talking about how we're all desperately searching for something that'll complete us, even when we never realize that we've already found it. Because within human nature, we all desire the concepts of true happiness. We all do. And I believe IU is demonstrating that when she mentions this thing within the song. The person's so focused on the future and self-betterment that he or she takes for granted the happiness and the success they've already achieved. Within the second verse of the song, she mentions how this thing lines up and connects with people's memories, which to me is easily understood to be the sort of happiness and fulfillment one would find in relationships, the bond of memories between two people. She's stating that if we have these bonds of memories, then shouldn't that be enough? As far as the end of the era reference, I think within that part of the song, she's talking about the concepts of growing up and realizing that it's our turn to go out and find this happiness on our own, rather than having someone else look for it like you would with a child. And the bridge to the song truly demonstrates the security that IU truly craves, to surrender this heavy responsibility, or duty, as she likes to call it, to someone else who will take care of it for her. This makes sense for a perfectionist who pushes themselves to the limit, that even he or she would like to have a moment where they don't have to worry about everything on their own. Even though she craves that, she's not going to surrender this duty to just anyone. She'd rather take care of it on her own, but she's holding it out for someone who she can depend on to take this weight off her shoulders, because she's secretly terrified of all the tasks that she takes on so bravely. I don't know, interpreting this song was very interesting because that's one of the things I do like about with IU's albums. I love to interpret her lyrics, and I love to write notes, because every time I hear an album from IU, I look at the lyrics to it and I write down notes, and then I just look at them while I'm doing this review. This song, it has a very interesting message. The next song is Vogue. From some research, I do know that this was the first single from the Trilogy series that she released at the time. Now that we're here now, it's really funny to see how IU was experimenting with the concepts of this song back then. What I love most about this track is the unique ambience that fuels it, along with this tribal percussion and this Indian touch. I like what it creates here. This song was so different from the previous era, which at the time was Love Appears. It was a very different era. It was a very welcome change. At least I thought so. Despite my love for this song, I still wish that her vocals could have been more creative, because here her vocals aren't really doing anything special, but it's not bad. A decent effort. The next song is End of the World. I love this song, you guys. I love the fact for this song, it's a combination between rock and a ballad. Within the beginning here, it features beautiful ballad qualities, and I really love that about this. And I love the intensity, because you know this is going to be an intense song based on the heavy aura it carries. She sings in such a calm voice, but that truly emphasizes the depression within this song. The arrangement itself is quite dark, and that's what truly caught my attention. And when it reaches the chorus, it truly exhibits the rock attributes that I've been talking about. IU's vocals, I will admit, they were a bit shrieky, but I'll overlook that because of all the emotion and effort she put into this. There was also so much attitude during that chorus that it literally made the, I want to say, anger pop out, because her tone seems very angry and very, I don't know the right word, but it's very longing. I want to say that's a bad word. Sorry. And I love the lyrics to this as well. They were very empathetic, which I guess in a way strengthens the despair that surrounds this song, because this song is very intense in a very depressing way. Overall, a great song. I enjoyed the song very much. The next song is Scar. This song is what I like to call a ballad with a rock twist. It opens up with this guitar and the piano, along with these voices who I believe are speaking in French, because I can't understand that part. I will admit, the first time I heard that French part of the song, I will admit it was rather hard to make out because of the distortion she applied to it. But after hearing it so many times, I believe it translates into, "The number you have called is no longer in service. We apologize for the inconvenience." It's similar to its English counterpart right here. This song itself is so beautiful, and the lyrics to this song are extremely sad. Within the lyrics, she seems to be talking about a relationship that ended long ago. As for the relationship, I'm not entirely sure, because the lyrics to this song are very vague, which I guess makes sense because IU's lyrics are naturally cryptic in nature, so it adds mystery that surrounds the song. But based off this song, to me, they kind of give me a romantic relationship. When the song starts, you hear this voicemail, and that could be easily interpreted as IU trying to call this person, but their phone was disconnected, which therefore emphasizes the breakup completely. The verses are sung in this slow manner. I honestly like this part because it really does aid the sadness that surrounds this song. It's really difficult to talk about this song because this song is very painful. Based off the lyrics, I think the vagueness of it, it can be something everyone can relate to, because I can find my way relating to this song because I have given a painful goodbye in the past, and it really does emphasize it within here. The chorus is filled with power and raw emotion, and the rock instruments that accompany the chorus create this beautiful sound that can't be forgotten. This was a beautiful song, you guys. I can't emphasize that enough. The next song is Far Away. This was the second song from the Trilogy series that she released, and from its arrangement, I have to say that this tune's quite unique from its distant synth beats. Its opening is filled with sync and mystical beats that really goes with IU's vocals perfectly. I know some fans really don't like this song based off the weird vocals that were within the background to this. To be honest with you guys, I've never really paid attention to that part, and if I had to be honest, I really don't consider that part of it to be backup vocals. In fact, I really don't think that vocal approach that she used there was really vocals at all. I thought, and still do, that part of the song, that where that dow dow, that dow, I guess, part, I thought that part was like, I thought they were sound waves. I never thought of them as vocals. Like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it would be for this song. Despite the weird approaches that she did use within this song, the one thing I really love for sure about this song is the lyrics. They were a bit on the sad side, but they were quite creative to me. And the verses within this sound so magical, and then when that chorus sweeps in, I can't help but feel entranced by it. It's really magical, and it has a nice touch that could be loved by many, so. This song, I can't help but be wowed by this song every time I hear it. This was a multi-genre song that takes lovely elements from pop, rock, and electronica that ultimately serve as this interesting experiment. The verses to this are somewhat fast, but it suits the atmosphere of the song quite well. Although I love the instrumentals, the one thing about this that I do love is, as always, is the lyrics. The lyrics are quite interesting to interpret, and I love the title for this song as well. The title Surreal, it means truth outside reality. Countless times within the verses, she states her own imaginings, wishes, and feelings, in which the title reflects. I thought that approach was interesting in a way because it truly explains the concepts of the word surreal. Another reason why I think IU did that, because in a way, surreal is a really misunderstood term, because most people, not all, but some people, they don't seem to understand the true meaning of the word surreal. Because if I had to be honest, the word does get thrown around a lot, so it's hard to find the real meaning of the word itself. Within this song, it's studying the truth as your subconscious mind sees it, rather than the reality that exists outside yourself. It's a place between dream and reality, which explains the beginning of her music video where she's dreaming and begins her journey within the dream world, where she finds herself in the jungle in the form of a wild beast. I don't know, to me, I think that's what IU was talking about within this song. A state of a dream where she can construct a world of her own and take much possibilities without worrying about the responsibilities, because it's easier and has much more freedom to it. But in the end, she switches back to reality because it's easier to do things in reality, even when there's no purpose in one's life anymore. This song was very interesting to interpret, and it was really interesting to put into words when I was writing out my notes for it, because I've analyzed this song so many times, and that's just what my thoughts linger upon it. The next song is Audience. I really like this song, and the opening towards it was very nice because it does give off this originality that's clouded with a twist, and it's really cool. I really enjoy listening to this tune because it's so catchy and upbeat, and I also like how fast and rock oriented that it is when it reaches this part. It was really cool. I really like that part. This song is very fun because the chorus itself is a real treat, since it's filled with those clapping and guitar riffs that screams the dance quality, and I love that part. Still, I will say, despite my love for this song, I don't listen to it as much. I don't know, with me, with this song here, I have to be in the right mood to listen to it. Otherwise, I just pass it up as another bland song within her discography. Despite my thoughts on that part, I still think that it's a fun song that's great to jam to every once in a while, so. The next song is Seasons. This was the third and final single from the Trilogy series. I really cherish this song as one of her best acoustic ballads. It's not my number one, but it's in the ranks. This song is a legend for itself. It begins with these beautiful piano opening, and I really love this part because it has like this certain gentleness to it that really stands out to me. And then it's followed with this acoustic guitar. I love the gentleness in Flicks. It almost makes me cry every time I hear it based off this gentle arrangement that's just so heartbreaking. Ayu's vocals are very lovely here. She's not really doing anything spectacular with them. They take more of a simpler approach, which in a way does aid the loveliness that this song has because it gives it more of a calm feeling, I want to say. Oh, sorry, I have so many thoughts surrounding this song. But this is a really lovely song, and then when that chorus follows, oh my gosh, I gotta wait for it. It sounds better than anything I've ever heard. It's just so gorgeous and catchy, and I can easily see why this single became a million seller. I can easily see it based off of this. This has to be one of her more classic ballads. I don't know why everyone criticizes it. This song, in my opinion, it's beautiful in its own right. The next song is Teddy Bear. We're finally getting into the album's first actual piano ballad. Over the years, I have given this song a tremendous amount of thought. I love the tenderness and fragility that she puts behind each verse. Despite it being so repetitive, I think that's one of the reasons why that makes this song so special. I can honestly say that this song has become one of my favorites despite how whiny she sings this. Because, I'm not gonna lie, her vocals do take on a weird turn for this, but maybe she was really emotional when she sung this, so maybe she didn't care, and based off the lyrics, I can see that excuse, so. From reading forums, it seems that everyone thinks that this song was written as a tribute to her grandmother. And although that is a valid excuse, I just never saw the lyrics that way. In my opinion, I always thought that this song was talking about her mother, because within the lyrics, she's talking about a person who wasn't there for her all the time, and how there was always a teddy bear within that place. And if you guys are fans of Ayu, you guys do know a bit of Ayu's biography. It was obvious that back in the past, Ayu and her mother didn't have the greatest relationship. I don't know, based off reading these lyrics and based off hearing this song so many times, I think that this song is about her mother. I've always seen it that way. I don't know why. I think she's just talking about her mother. And the lyrics make evident to that as well, because in one part of the song, she says, "You weren't always there for me, but we can always laugh together at funny stories." I don't know, I just think that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I believe. The next song is Key, Eternal Thai version. Sorry. But for this song, we're getting another acoustic ballad. And for this song, I will say I wasn't always the biggest fan of it, because I didn't really like this bland approach that she used within the beginning. For the longest time, I never really liked it. But from those times, I can say that I always end up coming back to this song one way or another. The mood she built within this seemed to be a calm, relaxing one, and I guess that was just a simpler approach for the song that really makes it a really solid song in that way. Ayu's vocals were soaring with perfection here. I really like that about this song. And one thing about her vocals, when it reaches the chorus, that chorus itself is so awing and beautiful. That's probably one of the reasons why I always come back to this song, because this chorus right here, that chorus was so beautiful. Like, I always just get like by it. It's just so, I love it. Everything about that chorus, I don't care. Despite the good factors that the song has, I will stand by what I said within the beginning. Other than that chorus, the song doesn't really stand out much, and it's easily outshined by the other great tracks of this album, but it still has its beauty, and that's one of the good things I can really say about this song. It is a song that I can appreciate based off its emotional depth. The next song is Girlish. This was the vibrant and final rock song for this album. It begins with this low guitar that's slowly streaming in, along with these verses that certainly start to pick up. Although I do love this song, there is one factor about it that just makes it really weird. IU's vocals. Her vocals within this song were really weird. Like I was like, what the hell when I first heard this? Because her vocals sound really off in this song, I will say that. Despite how weird her vocals sound here, I really love this song. The lyrics for this song are nothing too serious, of course. They just seem to talk about IU and her friends having a good time. Like I said before, I really did like this song. I love the direction the music was going in. The music was very cool. I really loved the music approach that she used within this. Despite her weird vocal approach within this song, I will say that this is a very good song. Like, I don't know, with her vocals, I've grown used to them since I've heard it so many times, so it doesn't really bother me anymore. Another thing I really liked about this song was how in the middle of the song, you hear these group of people singing along. I will admit, that's my most favorite part of the song. I really do love singing that part, especially when it arrives. La, 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 la. That was really good. I really like this part of the song because it really does aid the theme of friendship that IU surrounded here, and it was a really nice touch that she did. And before long, IU joins in. And I will admit that as she keeps singing this, she gets really nasally. As her la 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 keeps going, she gets really, really nasally. And it's just like, because she's like la 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 la. It sounds really weird, but like I said, I don't care, I sing it. La 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 la. I love that part, and I always find myself singing along with her. I don't care. To be honest, this was a great way to end her third studio album. Overall, Duty was an awesome album. This is also one of my favorite studio albums from her. It's not my number one, but it's in the ranks. I really liked the approach she did with her music, the lyrics, and the rock persona that she first experimented with here. All of the songs she released within this era were simply superb, and I can easily see why this is her best-selling studio album to date, because this really is an awesome album. And now I'll show you the pictures. And here is the album. This is also one of my favorite Hamasaki Ayumi albums when it comes to album art. That cover is gorgeous. Here is the inside. Really cool. Love that leopard approach. This has to be my most favorite picture out of this book. I love that little pouting she's doing right there. She looks so cute. Oh my goodness. Here are the credits, along with a beautiful picture of IU. This album was fantastic. I love everything about this album. But the one thing about this album that makes me sad is that I wish that her song Ever Free would have been on this album. I guess if you guys know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about her song Ever Free. It was, I believe, the B-side to her single Vogue. That song, I always cry every time I hear that song because that song is very emotional. I do think, in my opinion, that song would have been a really good addition for this album, but still, even though I'm sad that Ever Free wasn't on this album, I am happy to say that I do own the single digitally, so. This album is so underrated by IU fans, and I honestly don't think it deserves that kind of neglect. The work that IU put within this album was top-notch, and she gave this album such personality that it's almost impossible to ignore it. Her tone within many of the tracks were very sad to me. In my opinion, that's what gave this album a new effect of pondering. I wish more people would give this album a listen because this is an album that really is a jewel within her discography. Overall, This was a fantastic album that certainly deserves the 3 million copies it sold. So that was my review for this album. Once again, I would like to thank the YouTubers who requested this album because this really is a treasure within IU's discography. And based off this review, I've encouraged those people who haven't listened to this album to listen to it now because this really is a solid release within her discography. Once again, thank you guys for watching this video. I do hope that you enjoyed the opinions and thoughts that I had on this album because I really had a lot to say about this album because I do have a lot of attachments to it and I do have an emotional connection, especially with the lyrics. As I always say, if anyone has a person they would like me to review, feel free to leave it in the comments below and I'll be sure to get to it in the future. Again, thank you guys for watching this video and I do hope I'll see you all on the next album review I will do. So until next time, bye you guys. Hope to see you soon.